Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be discussing a more serious topic. This is a situation a lot of people have experienced. Incarceration. How the penal system profits from incarceration. A detailed breakdown. The U.S. penal system's financial structure creates conditions where incarceration itself becomes a profit-driven industry. Known as the prison industrial complex, this system intertwines public institutions, private corporations, and political frameworks, prioritizing financial gain over rehabilitation. Here is a detailed examination of how it operates, supported by documented facts. Private prisons and their revenue model. Privatization overview. Corporations like CoreCivic and GEO Group run many prisons and detention centers under contracts with federal and state governments. Occupancy guarantees. Many contracts include bed quotas, requiring states to maintain 80 to 100% occupancy rates. For example, a 2013 report found that 65% of private prison contracts included such guarantees. Revenue. GEO Group reported over $2.3 billion in revenue in 2022, much of it tied to government contracts. Cost-cutting measures. To maximize profit, private prisons often reduce spending on healthcare, food, and staff training. A 2021 study published by Justice Quarterly found that inmates in private facilities had worse living conditions and higher rates of violence compared to those in public facilities. Prison labor and exploitation. Inmate work programs. Federal law allows prisoners to be paid as little as 20 cents an hour for labor. Unicor. This government corporation employs inmates to produce goods like furniture and electronics. In 2022, Unicor generated $500 million in revenue. Economic impact. Inmates produce over $11 billion worth of goods and services annually, but their earnings often leave them unable to save or support families upon release. The role of fines, fees, and commissary. Court impose costs. Inmates often accrue fines and fees for legal services, restitution, and probation. In 2019, a study by the Brennan Center for Justice revealed that 10 million people owe over $50 billion in criminal justice debt. Prison commissary. Inmates must purchase basic hygiene products and food at inflated prices. Phone call costs. Companies like Securus and Global Tel Link charge up to $25 for a 15-minute call. Immigration detention as a profit stream. Immigrant detention centers. Similar to private prisons, companies like GEO Group and CoreCivic operate immigration detention facilities under contracts with ICE, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. For example, in 2020, over 81% of detained immigrants were held in privately run facilities. Cost to taxpayers. The government pays private contractors approximately $208 per detainee per day. Lobbying and political influence. Corporate lobbying. Private prison companies spend millions annually lobbying for policies that increase incarceration. Between 2000 and 2018, CoreCivic and GEO Group spent over $25 million on lobbying and campaign contributions. ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council, this influential group, funded by corporations, has promoted legislation like 3 strikes laws and mandatory minimums, both of which drive incarceration rates. Systemic incentives for incarceration. Police and judicial practices, revenue-driven policing, such as issuing fines for minor infractions, disproportionately affects marginalized communities. Ferguson, Missouri, relied on fines and fees for 20% of its budget in 2014, as revealed by a Department of Justice report. Judicial kickbacks. In 2011, 2 Pennsylvania judges were convicted for taking $2.6 million in kickbacks from private detention centers in exchange for sentencing juveniles to their facilities. Disproportionate impact on marginalized groups. Racial disparities. Black Americans represent 13% of the U.S. population, but make up 38% of the prison population, as reported by the Bureau of Justice Statistics in 2021. Economic exploitation. Low-income individuals are more likely to be incarcerated for inability to pay fines, perpetuating a cycle of poverty. Legislative actions. States like California and Nevada have banned private prisons. In conclusion, the penal system profits from incarceration through privatized facilities, inmate labor, exploitative fees, and political lobbying. Reform efforts are essential to dismantle the financial incentives that drive mass incarceration, focusing on rehabilitation, community programs, and systemic fairness. By understanding the details of this system, society can advocate for a more equitable and rehabilitative approach to justice. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.